what happens on one side of the county affects the other side of the county.
Absolutely.
So what happens in Carson could affect stuff that's happening here in Howard City and everywhere in between.
Absolutely.
In one way, shape, or form.
Welcome to the Discover Montcalm Podcast, where we are going to look at the communities, the businesses, the attractions, and the people that make up Montcalm County. Here is your podcast host, Dwayne Weed.
Hello, my name is Dwayne, the host and producer of the Discover Montcalm Podcast, and I want to welcome Mike back. Mike Falcon, the village manager of Howard City. We did a podcast on him, but he wears more than one hat. And I'm sure even in the direction that we're going right now, there's probably more hats that you wear. But the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, the other hat that you wear, is the Montcalm Economic Alliance.
Sure.
I always refer to it as the Montcalm Alliance. Once you get that in your head and you've been there, when Franz had it and brought it through, but you say the MEC.
Yeah.
So
MEA.
MEA.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to look. Okay. Correction on that. I can be, thank you for correcting me. Montcalm Economic Alliance. What is it?
Well, it's a lot of things. Franz started this small program that's blossomed into something that we hopefully can take into the future forever.
Right.
Yeah, he was. I don't know the man, unfortunately, but he started something that was really unique. Mm-hmm. It is an economic driver within Montcalm County. If you have a question on your business, your industry, economics is everything. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of had a little setback over the last few years. It's one of those things that happens in any organization. It was from COVID, really.
Right.
And it's been hard to retain someone to be the executive director and so on and so forth. Just of late, in the last couple months, that's when you can get a hold of me.
Because we're now in March of 2025. Just to kind of give this podcast a date. So
around January, we started looking at, okay, what's our strengths, what's our weaknesses, what's our SWOT analysis type deal. And I look at it different than what an executive director would look at it, because I look at it from a board perspective.
Okay.
That 30,000 view foot.
Yep.
And there was things that needed to be done. Mm-hmm. Not that they weren't doing great themselves, but we needed to reinvent ourselves. We really need to help Montcalm County. We all have challenges.
Yes.
And, we were talking in the last podcast as a village manager, them relationships. Mm-hmm. We need someone who can come in and build those relationships on a daily basis. Yeah. Because the board, all us board members, we have day jobs.
Right.
And like you said, we wear many hats. Mm-hmm. And I got a laundry list of hats that I wear. Sure. But they were so kind as a board. They hired me, well, not hired me, but voted me as president for this next year. Okay. And I'm going to do everything that in my power to make sure that we're in the right direction.
You are sitting with your day job in a position that you see the benefits of this.
Oh, absolutely. As we were discussed one of the other podcasts, when we look at Larry's Tire. Right. If it wasn't for the MEA, we would not have that happen. And we were talking about the White Pine Trail. Right. It was at a MEA meeting that I met the contact to get that started. Okay. So them relationships are key. Mm-hmm. And we need to bring in an executive director who can build those relationships, understands economic development and workforce development and all the policies and procedures that go along with it. But as a board level, we need someone who's really dynamic. And you're lucky you're the first person I've told. I can't say who it is at this point. Right. But
maybe by the time this podcast goes out, because I don't know when we're going to air these, that it'll happen. But that's good that you found.
We found the one. Yeah. I really, truly believe. This individual is super dynamic. We went in July, we redid our bylaws. Mm-hmm. We had 13 or 14 pages of bylaws. We narrowed it down to 2.5 pages. Yeah. We had a executive board of about 12 people. We narrowed that down to 5 people. Right. We have a larger board, mm-hmm. But the executive board, 5 people. It's easy to work with 5 people.
Yes.
Get things done. And then we made a search, and we got a really good person coming on
I
board.
can tell you, we were talking off camera, and I could hear it in his voice that it's genuine. This person really seems to be fitting the need for what we're at right now. And, talk about, I know you just recently had a I don't know if it was an annual meeting or you were talking about things coming up. Over this past year or so, what are some of the things that the Montcalm Economic Alliance has accomplished in Montcalm County?
Well, like I said, Larry's Tire is one of them that they're
right.
they're involved with. We have meetings. We have not set that schedule yet.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we're changing.
Right.
And not only we thrown out the rule book, we're setting a new standard. And what we want to do is be the best that we can be for Montcalm County.
Yeah. I've always gone with the idea that if it's not broke, break it. See what happens, and then move on from there.
Yeah. Well, we're in that mode.
Yeah.
And what I think we have to remember is we're not islands to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Howard City benefits when something happens in Greenville.
Yes.
When something happens in Greenville, Lakeview
Yeah.
benefits.
Carson City.
City benefits. Edmore benefits. We need each other. We're
Mm-hmm.
better with each other than apart. And I think we're taking that mentality now with this board, with this team that we have.
Sure.
With a new hire that's coming in. And like I said, 5 minutes ago, as I was coming in, I got texted that the person accepted the position.
Sure.
And it's going to be a new beginning. I truly believe it's going to be a new beginning. And then you asked me, there's a little confusion in what the right place and MEA. We partner with the right place.
Yeah, I was going to say that was something that happened, I think when Franz was here, he partnered with as many people as he could, but I think toward the latter part of what he was doing, I don't know if it was Franz or if it was the board, they looked at the right place, or the right place looked at them, and now you're partnering with them.
Well, we do partner with them, but we are our own entity. And
Right.
I think part of that is we lost our identity, who we were.
Mm-hmm.
The right place, I call them our toolbox.
Sure.
We use them, and we actually contract with them.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the position of this executive director, some of the soft things, the HR things, the benefit things, come from the right place.
Okay.
And the reason is the right place is looking at a bigger scope than we are.
They're looking at Michigan.
All of West Michigan.
West Michigan.
And they're one of the biggest economic drivers in the state of Michigan, other than MEDC.
Okay.
So why not take advantage of that? So we contract with them for part of that position's fringe, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
and they take care of the HR part and computer part. And if
Some of the business sides. I know that you can go to rightplace.org, and then you can find the Montcalm Economic Alliance on their website.
Correct. So it's a true partnership. But Montcalm Economic Alliance, we're our own self.
Right.
And we need to live, breathe, and eat Montcalm County.
Yep.
And that's what we need to get back to.
Okay.
And whether it be die-castle or whether, MEA has helped die-castle in some form or fashion. If we need someone, I was doing a retention visit with one of the directors that was here, and we went to Michigan Chair, and they had overseas buyers. Well, Montcalm County's not going to have contacts for that.
Right, right.
And it's going to be hard for MEDC even to have, but the right place does.
Right.
There's a toolbox,
Yes.
so let's use it.
Pull that tool when you need it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in different industries throughout Montcalm County.
Mm-hmm.
We want to utilize that even more. Not just the toolbox, but have that person who's representing MEA be Montcalm County.
So if a business is out there, they're looking at some possible growth, is that the Montcalm Economic Alliance a place that they should reach out to talk to, at least get the conversation?
Absolutely. And many of at least the executive board, we know what's going on, and we should know what's going on in Montcalm County. You know, I'm the president. I'm from the village here, Howard City. Darren Dode, he's Lakeview manager.
Yep.
George Bosonic, the Greenville manager. We got the county controller, and our Amy Homage, who's a VP of commercial bank.
Yep.
So we have a good eclectic round of people.
Sure.
That have a lot of knowledge, you know, from lending to all the rules and regulations. We can help that business or that industry any way we can, and if it goes beyond our reach, then we go to our toolbox, which is the right place.
And then say, hey, we need this
And
tool.
being that we partner with them and we work with them, they'll send someone over.
Yeah. It sounds like a good collaboration.
Correct.
You know, you work better as a team than you do as an individual entity. And I'm sure that there's businesses, but it's not just businesses. You're helping communities. You're helping other villages and cities. I mean, it's everything in Montcalm County, correct?
Economic is about quality of life.
Yep.
And when economic development is going on, workforce development is going on, the quality of life is better.
Yes.
Plain and simple. It's really easy.
Yeah.
You know, I heard one time that economic development is wealth building. Well, in a way it is, but it's more than just wealth. It's knowledge, it's partnerships, it's things that are untangible sometimes. We had talked about tri-county schools.
Yes.
When economic development's going good, they're doing well.
Right.
Because there's people in the area.
Yep. And it's hands together, you know, shaking hands, you know, it's that involvement that it's growing the community, which look at Montcalm County as a community. What happens, and I think you mentioned this when we were talking about your day job, you know, that what happens on one side of the county affects the other side of the county.
Absolutely.
So what happens in Carson could affect stuff that's happening here in Howard City and everywhere in between.
Absolutely.
You know, in one way, shape, or form. You know, I guess, and that's the growth, and that's working together instead of sitting here going, well, I'm my own little island. You know, every community around here has festivals and things that are going on. Reach out. Let's connect. Let's cross-advertise. Let's whatever we need to do to make it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We are not unto ourselves.
Right.
And everything is connected. That's what makes us so great. But we got, like I said, the MEA, I think, need to get back to that.
Sure. And it sounds like you are. You've got that. And when you're saying get back, it's not that they haven't been doing good things.
They've been doing great things.
You know, it's not like, oh, you've been over here. They've actually been doing really good things. It's just time to shake it up a little bit.
Yep.
Since you've been involved, I know you talked about Larry's Tire, you talked about the school, you know, what else around this county that you go, if it wasn't for this organization? I know it's big.
There's so many things. You know, last fall we were visiting a farm building on the east side of Greenville. Outside, there's an old structure. Someone was going to take it over. They're looking for some economic development monies to go into that. Okay, we had the right people there. And they're also looking into brownfield. That's another hat I sit on that board.
Okay.
So by having me there and going through this tour, they got a lot of questions answered. You know, I believe there's a refrigerator plant that just expanded.
Okay.
You know, the MEA had some, not all. I mean, they really did the legwork, but we're there if they need us.
Right.
You know, that's why the MEA is here. You know, if we talked about the foragers before, you know, the foragers, I know the director when I was here had a conversation with them and asked them if they needed any help. Retention visit at Wolverine. How's the employees doing?
Right.
You know, is there anything we can do for you?
Right.
You know, it's the things that you don't see really make a big difference.
Well, there's a lot going on behind the scenes in any organization, in any community, you know, that it's made up of that team. So for people that are listening, we're talking about the Montcalm Economic Alliance and the help that they're doing to help retain good economic structure in the county. As we wrap this up, because I know you and I could probably just keep talking and talking and talking, what is it that you'd like the viewers, the listeners to go away with, a takeaway of what the Montcalm Economic Alliance is doing, maybe future plans type thing?
I think the takeaway is simply that if you are approached by someone from the Montcalm Economic Alliance or the new director that we're bringing on, which I can't be more ecstatic
I'm hoping
about.
that once they're here, that once that person's here, that you can tell them, come on the podcast, let's talk about it. I'd love to have them.
And if you're a resident, if you're a township, whatever, don't be afraid to look us up.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a question, part of this is building those relationships, like we keep talking. I also sit on the Community Action Committee for the county that started off as a planning committee. We're going to give out our first grant this year to Montcalm County.
Okay.
Well, that's part of economic development. And I sit on both boards. We got the county to invest $2 million. From that, it's on an interest-bearing account.
Okay.
And we take an interest in giving it back to the county in general. So we get our first grant's going to be this spring. I think it's about $20,000, but
Sure.
we've only had it going for a few months.
And it will only grow.
It will only grow. So don't be afraid to reach out to Montcalm Economic Alliance or the new director that's coming on board. I'm sorry, I can't say the name yet.
I understand.
I really want
to.
But I think, just be open to the idea that we can help you.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, maybe we discuss again in a year, kind of look back and see where things are going. Mike, thank you so much for coming in. A guy that wears more than one hat, the village manager for Howard City, also current board president of the Montcalm Economic Alliance, and then we won't list them all. But thank you. You can get to therightplace.org. You can find the website for the Montcalm Economic Alliance. So if you got any questions, the phone numbers and all that are right there. You can easily reach out to them at rightplace.org and look up Montcalm Economic Alliance, and all the contact information is there. My name's Dwayne. I'm the host and producer. You can find us on Pandora, Apple. I always lose wherever, but you can go to the Discover Montcalm Alliance. Oh my goodness! Now
Discover Montcalm.
Oh, there we go. Discover Montcalm Podcast.com, and you can grab the RSS feed and put it in your favorite podcast browser, or you can check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow us, like us, send us some of the community people to talk to. It's all about Montcalm County, so send them to me. You can call me at 231-250-9624. And on that note, remember to buy and shop locally.
We would like to thank M1063, WGLM, FM, M1063.com. West Michigan Technology and Design Solutions is your local source for managed IT, websites design and hosting. Check them out at WMTDS.com. At Business Growth Engine, Stephen and his team support businesses through automation and streamlined processes. Go to buildergrowthengine.com. DW Video transfers your home movies, slides, audio, and videotapes to digital. They produce and design websites, create business and social media videos, TV commercials, and family storytelling videos. Visit dwvideo.com to learn more. Connect and follow the Discover Montcalm Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Check out all our episodes at discovermontcalmpodcast.com. We look forward to featuring your business, community, nonprofit, events, and more. Contact Dwayne at 231-250-9624, 231-250-9624. Thank you for tuning in and following the Discover Montcalm Podcast.